Cowboys at 12-20. Realistic dream picks from Dane Brugler.
Sonny Styles at 12, and then Dylan Thieneman at 20.
Hello, friends. I'm here with Dane Brugler from The Athletic, the best in business, tied for the best in the business, as our coworker, Fran Duffy, is 12 feet from me. Tied for the best in the business, Dane Brugler from The Athletic. Thank you for taking a moment. It's good to see you.
It is good to see you, too. It's funny, walking to the convention center this morning, and that guy looks like Jeff Cavanaugh. Is that him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. It's been a while, buddy. How you doing?
Good. And you didn't. I appreciate that you didn't say that you recognized me because of my leg that doesn't straighten. I got a peg leg.
I didn't want to publicly say that, but since you put it out there,
I know that gate.
I know that gate. Yeah, I'm a scout, right?
That's right.
Part of scouting is just being observant.
Well, we're going to improve it shortly. Dane, for the Dallas Cowboys, it's all we care about. It's all I care about. For the Dallas Cowboys, 2 first-round picks is super fun. If you're drawing up the world that you think the Cowboys are hoping for, what happens in the first 11? And I guess that involves, like, what names, if you're the Cowboys, are you hoping for? Because, like, I live in this world where it's almost I judge myself for it, but I feel like it's a weird draft class where there's an off-the-ball linebacker and there's a safety that at 12 I would be really happy with. And then I look at myself and I go, who are you? That's gross.
Who am I talking to right now?
But that's probably the 2 favorites for me would be Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs. And if you're the Cowboys, does that sound right?
You're reading my mind. I mean, that's exactly where I was going to go. But you can't create something that's not there. This is what this draft is giving us. That's what this class is. And I think the theme of this year's first round, especially those top 15 picks, just draft good football players.
Yeah.
You know, like let's not get caught up in chasing the traits, chasing upside. Let's just give me the good football players that are going to impact our roster. Both those guys, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, high floor players. So I think that you can feel really, really good that no matter how many Pro Bowls they go to, you're going to get an impact starter for your team for the next, 10 years. Now, it'll be interesting to see if either fall to 12. I have my doubts just because they're 2 of the 5 best players in this draft, in my opinion. I think I did not expect this to be the case 4 months ago, but I think the 5 best players all played their college ball in Ohio or Indiana, which is kind of crazy. But if one of them were to fall, I'll say this: I don't think they're still on the board at 13.
If one of them were to fall, which one do you think would be more likely? Because my thinking is individually, I don't think either one falls.
Right. Agreed.
But as a tandem, I'm calling it a coin flip.
Right.
If it's like, hey, do you think Styles will be like, probably not. Downs, probably not, but maybe, and I don't know which one.
My guess would be it would be Downs, because with Sonny, you at least have the freakiness, right? You have the trait. He's 6'4", 240, and not like that's not inflated. He will be over 6'4". He will be over or right around 240 pounds. It might be like 238, 241. So right around 240. He'll run on the 4.5s. He just turned 21 years old. Like, he skipped his senior year of high school. So he's still very young. He's a senior, but turned 21 around Thanksgiving. So I think the traitsy stuff, he checks some of those boxes. And it's not to say that Downs doesn't, but he's not, like, the size doesn't jump out. The speed's good, but not amazing. So because he doesn't have some of the freaky stuff, maybe that's what causes him to not go as high as Sonny Styles. But you can make the argument Downs is the smartest player in the draft. So, I think that I think you're right. Like, it is a kind of a coin flip in terms of who's going to go first. And if one were to fall, I think it could be either one.
Is there any world where the Cowboys select an offensive player at number 12?
I mean, you can't completely rule it out, but I'd be surprised, right? I mean, Jeremiah Love, as good as he is, I don't think they'd go in that direction. With the way that Pickens has really become a force player for that offense, I can't see him going receiver. I guess you can't completely rule out offensive line with this team. you can't. But the chances seem very low that they would go that way.
How do teams, maybe like if I make you a GM, because I hear from people all the time, it's like, I don't want another first-round offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm saying, I don't care what I've already done.
Sure.
I care the team I have.
Right.
And if you don't like what you have at left tackle, and your best player is, let's call it Francis Maui Noah
Yep.
at Miami, although he's a right tackle, and so maybe that muddies it even more
Right.
and makes it even more.
But even right tackle is kind of like, what's the future of that position?
I thought that he could be a cap casualty last year, but
Right.
and that's what kind of draws me into thinking you've got a shot at some guys that maybe you don't. Because I think when you look at NFL free agency this year, when you look at offensive line play around the league, I think people are tackle starved.
Yeah.
And I don't know how high, how many could go in this class, but definitely you could have 2 go before you.
Sure.
Could you see 3? And it's like, I don't know, but it does seem like the NFL is starving for offensive tackles so much that the Cowboys are flirting with an all-pro guard playing tackle.
Right. And I think this is not a deep tackle class, but we're going to see 4 or 5 go in the first round. And like a guy like Monroe Freeling from Georgia, he's different than.
I like him a lot, except for the plays where I don't.
Yeah, right. That's a good way to put it. Same with every other player in this draft.
Yeah.
But like Maui Noah, like you said, right tackle. And a lot of teams have him on the board as a guard. Spencer Fano, right tackle at Utah.
I think he's a guard.
He might be. I mean, especially after we get his official measurements here. And but he played left tackle as a freshman, and they moved him to right tackle because that's more of his natural position. So Monroe Freeling has a actual left tackle skill set, and that could give him a little bit of a bump. Maybe we didn't see coming. So yeah, I think if Monroe Freeling went back to Georgia for his senior year, we're talking about him as a top 10 pick in next year's draft. So I don't think it'd be a shock if he ended up going in the top 10 this year, especially to your point with how tackle starved a lot of these teams are.
Cowboys at 12-20, realistic dream picks from Dane Brugler.
Okay, let's go Caleb Downs at 12. And then at 20, we're sticking with. Actually, no, let's flip it. Let's go Sonny Styles at 12, and then Dylan Thieneman at 20. I think that'd be fun.
Oregon safety?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
God, your positional value there is terrible, Dave. What a bad draft. But yeah,
that's the theme of this draft. Yeah, exactly.
It really is.
Tell me I drafted bad players, right?
No, I can't do it. And the Cowboys can't afford to miss. So let's just pick the guys that we think are really good.
Well, look, they did that last year with Tyler Booker, right? High floor player, came in at a good rookie year. You think he's going to get better in year 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with hitting doubles, and you don't have to try and swing for the fences every single time you get a first-round pick.
It's Dane Brugler. Check out his work on The Athletic. When does The Beast come out?
Month. First week in April is always the goal, and this week's important to kind of get some of these last nuggets and fill in some of the context things we're missing, and then crawl into my hole for the month of March, finish it, and come back out to share it with everybody in April.
There are 318 players at this combine, but if you need information on about 4,000 players, check out The Beast when it comes out, and that's Dane Brugler. I appreciate you, buddy.
Anytime, man. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Dane Brugler, the best in the business, tied for best in the business with Fran.
Love you, Fran.
Yeah, and he loves Fran. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.